behave today because we do have some things that we're going to discuss. So again, let us know where you're coming from. And then the hearts, so if you're new here, the hearts that you see going up the screen, you get those hearts to go up the screen because you're tapping the live, stating that you're liking the live, you want to help support the live. And if you came here from the FYP, meaning that you saw me pop up on your feed, that helps me. What's up, Toronto? All right. So hey neighbor, y'all see what's going on down here. Y'all see what's going on down here. Yeah, we're gonna need them. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, Charlene? This is one of my neighborhood sisters. Let me pin you. How are you? How are you? And yeah, she's coming from some warm weather. But those hearts that you see, so you're going to tap on the screen for hello, tubers. We're going to behave today, right? We got an agreement. We're going to behave today. So the tapping on the screen makes those hearts go up. Also, this button here or this little arrow here, you can share the live out. I would appreciate if you would share the live out, and that's to send it to somebody else that you feel should be in on this conversation. So again, this is the self-care suite. This is where we come to kick off your shoes, relax your feet, and we're talking about the many ways to wellness. And so the commitment that I made for the year, so far so good. We're not halfway through yet, but for the year was to hold. Thank you so much, Glamalicious. Tap the screen. Yep. So if you just keep tapping the screen, it makes that number go up, and then it makes this live available for more people. So you just tap on the screen. That's support as well. So it's not all about when you come in here or anybody else's live. I don't get in nobody else's business or anybody else's pockets. It's not about you coming in and you got to pay. But if you tap on the screen, if you comment, interact with one another in the comments, all of that helps me, as a creator, and to get my information out to more people. So I would greatly appreciate if you just tap on the screen, that'll change that number to a higher number, as well as if you share. So if you are new here, I am Coach Robin Renee, and I am going to be your mindful movement lies. I'm gonna be your hostess in the self-care suite. Y'all hear that? I'm thinking I'm teaching class. I'm a mindful movement guy in class. All right, so I think Ty, Ty, I'm not sure if you're still in here. Yeah, I'm not. All right, tubers. All right, so Glamalicious, I don't know if you need to hop over there. I don't know if you need to hop over there, but thank you all so much. So let us know what did you do for this past week? Hey, Ruthlessness, how are you? How are you? Thank you for joining the live. So what was your self-care from the past week? Again, we are sharing things here. I'm not coming in a teaching capacity or just giving you information and you take it and you go with it. So this is how we're going to balance this thing out. And we are creating a safe space where we all can come and where we all can be a part of the conversation. And the conversation that we're talking about today was sparked by, there's a creator, I think she's pretty big on the talk. So I think she's pretty big. Yeah, they're holding messages over here already, Glamalicious. Yeah, so she was talking to her people, I guess. So one of my Pilates people had made a comment, you made them in the day and even take care of your skin. Ooh, skincare is good, is good, is good. So yeah, just go ahead and type it in the chat. We have India. Hey, India, how are you? So we got India on the tube. We got Canada on the talk. So yeah, let us know where you are joining in from. So anyway, so this creator was in I believe it was a live that she was doing, because I just saw the video. So I don't know if it was something that she posted, but someone had mentioned about getting snatched waist or something in Pilates. And so she, like the way she was saying it was basically that Pilates is trash. So, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting her, but that's pretty much what she was saying in terms of getting a snatch waist from Pilates and you're not going to lose weight from Pilates. And then there was a comment, she made a comment referencing Black people wanting to do Pilates because of its proximity to whiteness. And so that's what sparked our conversation. And so we're just continuing the conversation in the self-care suite. And so we just want to check in and see where you're from. I mean, if you are, a person of color, if you are a Black person, was your desire, or if you're doing Pilates, is your desire to be close to whiteness? Is that why you're doing it? Hi, Bernadette, how are you? So that's where this whole conversation, came from. Because I'm like, I don't have that experience, but maybe that's her experience. So I'm not going to take away from her experiences. And she's a fitness professional, as far as I know. And so there were comments. The comments were mixed. Some were, some people were upset, about what it was that she was saying, the way she was talking about Pilates and, saying that she shouldn't be discouraging people from movement, which, I mean, I do agree with that. Especially if you're in a space and you have a larger platform and you're the professional in that space, yeah, I'm thinking again, and this is hi Mina, how are you? And this is my opinion that as the professional in that space, it's more, what's up, babe? How are you? Beautiful. So as the professional, I mean, this is just me. I think you should be encouraging people to move, encouraging people to do those things where they can invest in their wellness so they can do life better and so that they can live better. But she was trashing Pilates. Now, was she serious? I don't know. She didn't smile. I miss you too, honey. I definitely miss you. Was she serious? I mean, like serious? She wasn't smiling. The part of the video that I saw, she wasn't smiling. She was talking. And so from my understanding, she helps people lose weight. And so maybe the abrasiveness came from the people who she's been used to dealing with. Again, I didn't stitch it. I didn't save it. I didn't download it. I just went and listened to it because one of my Pilates people had made a comment on it, and that kind of sparked this big conversation around it. So I just watched it. So I'm paraphrasing what she was saying. So I'm not going to quote her. And if you are on the top, her initials are TF. So I don't know if you know who she is, but I think she's pretty big on the top. I'm not sure if she's on the tube or not. No, I'm not. They're trying to invite me to a battle. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're not battling over here. So that's where the question came from. And so that's where today's conversation, I look like a fairy in the sky. All right. So that's where this conversation is coming from. And so we just want to bring some awareness to that, get some energy moving around that, and just, what if something? Oh, hey, what if? I think that's your name. Okay. Let's see. All right. Talkers, hold tight. Because I'm over here. I got to start pulling them out from over on the tube. So when you think of, like, if you know about Pilates, if you know anything about Pilates, so we'll start from there. We can, of course, create a bigger space to talk about other modalities, but this one was prompted by the conversation about the Pilates. So that's where we got that from. So if you know anything about Pilates, okay, Glamalicious, they are clowning. Okay, talkers, hang tight with me. So we're trying. Ooh, we got Brazil over here. Hey, Brazil. J8 in the kitchen. Hi, J8 in the kitchen. I think Jay in the kitchen. Hello. The stuff is moving kind of fast over here. So anyway, so if you know anything about Pilates, and I guess we can just kind of start from there. Like, what is your, okay, Jay in the kitchen. Okay. So, okay, let me go to Bohemian Landlooper, pinning this comment. Okay, I'm glad that you are sharing and teaching Pilates with the Black community. Yep. It allows us another, are you saying perspective? I don't know. I think you ran out of characters. But yeah, but I'm adamant, avenue. Okay, it allows us another avenue. Yeah, so I am adamant about when I do create my events or my classes. Okay, can I turn all of these off now? Okay, hang tight, talkers. Y'all just don't know they be really doing a lot over here. And so I need a moderator over there. Okay. All right. So wait, let's go down. Another avenue for our health. Exactly. So I do know that when we're talking about the images that you see when you think of Pilates or when you pull up Pilates, we're shifting. I mean, that's our mission with our Melanin Matters mission. That's our mission to shift the narrative of what Black wellness looks like. And so it's intentional when I'm creating whatever it is that I'm creating, whether it's an event, whether it's a class, whether it's a program. I am intentional about that because I do want my community to understand the modality, first of all, and that it is for you. So our bodies are made a little different. Some people have been blessed with a few more curves than other folks. I'm just saying, some people got pound cakes and not pancakes, and some of us in the middle, we claiming the cupcakes. I'm just saying, but our bodies are made a little bit different. And we go into these spaces, and one, there can just be an energy. Like, people don't necessarily have to say anything for you to feel that you're not welcome in the space. So that we do know. So we want to make sure that we hold sacred spaces, that they're safe enough for us to be able to come to freely breathe, move, and thrive. So that is the goal behind what it is that we're doing. But this particular person, from my understanding, the one who sparked the conversation from her video, they said she did Pilates before, like for some years, and then now she's doing something else, like with weight loss. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, so what I want us to know is that we're not limited, even if we have limitations. So there could be some mobility issues. All right. All right. So they're doing a lot. Hang on, talkers, because this is, you know what? I think I'm just about, but it might be some legitimate people over here that we want to talk to. So I really don't want to shut them down, but I think I'm gonna end up shutting them down. But yeah. So speaking of the other avenue with health, if we have people who have okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Creative Mind. People who have mobility issues. So I've had people who've had back surgeries, knee surgeries, hip surgeries, neck issues, frozen shoulders. So there are a lot of things that come through in the space that I'm in. So I don't want people to feel that they're limited, or because they saw a certain aesthetic. So when they saw a certain aesthetic, it's like, oh, well, I got to be a size 2, and I, got to be 5 feet, 3 inches. And that's not true. Our bodies come in all shapes and sizes. And Pilates was created as a rehabilitative form of movement. It didn't start off, oh, y'all know I got to pull out my book. Or if you don't know, I pull out my book. This is who created Pilates. So he ain't blonde and he don't have no long ponytail. But he's little. He's a little guy. So this is who created it. This is what we do. This is the blueprint. This is what I use. The name of this book is called Return to Life Through Contrology. And the author is the creator of Pilates. His name is Joseph Pilates. And the exercise modality was called Contrology until he passed away. And then it was named Pilates. So it didn't start off in the dance community, but the way we see it moving now, well, with social media, is moving in a lot of different directions, but it was really popular in the dance community because when he came to the States, he's from Germany, and he was from Germany. He has passed away, but he came to the States, and the first studio that he opened was in close proximity. So if anybody here from the NYC, New York has a deep history in Pilates. He opened up a studio in New York City that was in close proximity to a dance studio. And so the dancers would come to him for rehabilitation, or if they weren't injured and they just wanted to be stronger to prevent injury. And that's what's happening, Coach Caprice? Say something, Coach Caprice, so I can let the people know about you. And that's how the dance community, how it became popular in the dance community. And so the other thing with it becoming popular in the dance community, and if you want to know, like a little bit deeper about our history, so let me let you all know about Coach Caprice. And then if I lose my train of thought, y'all tell me. I was talking about our history in Pilates, but Coach Caprice. So you all make sure you're following Coach Caprice. She's going to take you on this wellness journey where you ain't got a diet, but you're going to eat well. You're going to eat very, very well. And she gets you right with your macros, your micros, your proteins, your fats. So make sure you follow Coach Caprice. I think her day is Saturday morning, but follow her because she'll tell you. She'll tell you what her day is when she's on live. But all those things that you have questions about, with your wellness, she gets you prepared. She gets your body prepared for the calling that's on your life. I think I got your tagline right, Coach Caprice. But that's Coach Caprice. She's on the pen. Make sure you follow Coach Caprice. So all things wellness. Make sure you follow Coach Caprice. So back to our history in Pilates. So with Miss BW, so with Mr. Pilates, I'll give you a brief one, but if you want to know like deeper, you can go to my Tube channel, and it is episode 2. of the Melanin Matters show. So if you hit episode 2, it's a brief history of Pilates, but it's more about the Black history in Pilates because we also have a history in Pilates too. So I'm giving you a brief history, and it's my style. It's the truth, but it's my style. So this guy had some health issues, right? So he had like things like rickets and like asthma, and he had things going on with him. And he was kind of small, well, not kind. He actually was very small. So he wanted to heal himself, and he started realizing like how much better he felt when he moved, how much better he felt when he started controlling his breathing. So if you've done Pilates before, the controlled breathing that is connected with Pilates, he started coming up with different ways to clean his lungs and to clear his lungs. And he knew being outside, among fresh air, in the sunshine, he knew that those things would help heal him. So he started developing his system on himself. He also studied the way animals moved. And, you can see some of those influences in some of the exercises. And he developed a system. You also share how I began practicing Pilates. Oh, yep. I do also share my story. So my story of how I got into Pilates is episode 1. And then episode two is the Black history in Pilates on the Melanin Matters. It's a playlist. So it's the Melanin Matters show. So with Mr. Pilates, so when he developed his system, he saw how well it worked for him. So I'm just fast forwarding again. I'm giving you a real brief synopsis, but you can go over to the channel or you can just Google him. And so he, he's out, he's working. Oh, and also, because I think this is really fascinating too. So he was a scientist and an inventor, and he worked on his body so much that he was actually able to pose for the anatomical, like the anatomical figures. His muscles were so defined that he was a live anatomical figure. I think that's super fascinating. Like how bodybuilders look, but yeah, he developed his muscles so well. And what he calls your core is your powerhouse. It's where things center from. And this is where he wants to get you stronger, and then you can get, strength in other areas of your body. So, okay, so back to him. So once he created this system, he saw how well it worked for him. He's up, he's out, him and his, crew. He was also a circus performer. And so they were on tour, taking the circus on tour. They doing all the, like the acrobats in the circus and stuff. And World War I broke out, right? So he's from Germany. They were over in England. England was like, you know what? Y'all the ops. Y'all about to come over here, right? So they got caught. They got locked up, right? They got thrown in this concentration camp. And, he's in there with his crew like, look, we just over here working. We not no spies. We not, but they wasn't taking it. Like, no, we're going to hold on to y'all for a minute. We don't know what y'all own over here, but we're going to hold on to y'all for a minute. So while they were in there, some people got injured. Again, this is my version of it. It's the truth, but it's my version of it. So, my style, not my version. Let's reframe it. It's the truth. It's just my style of telling the truth because I like the story the way that I tell it. So, hey, Ave, how are you? How are you? So when he was locked up, when he was in a concentration camp, some people were injured, right? So he's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, we stuck in here. You can't just, I can't say the word. You can't go away, like go away permanently on me. So we're gonna fight for our lives, in here. And he was just, pretty much the strongest one in there. And so he started in, you appreciate my style of delivery. Yeah, because it's a fascinating story. I talk about the Bible like this too, but he has a really fascinating story. And so he was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. And so some people were injured. And so the reformer, how you see this machine here, when you see people on the Pilates reformer, the prototype of the reformer was actually a hospital bed. And so when people couldn't get out of the bed and they were injured, he started, and I don't know how old people are, but if you remember, old beds had the metal springs underneath it, and those little springs, if you got popped with one of them. But he started disconnecting stuff on the bed, and it had that metal bar on the bottom, and he was hooking things and used the mattress to help lift them up. He was trying to help them to become stronger while he was in it. He was like, you know what? Well, we locked up, so we may as well get healthy in case they come up in here, because we might have to squabble on them. I'm just saying. He was like, we ain't going out like that. They already called us, but we ain't going down. We ain't going down. So he was working on people, and so when the people were in the hospital portion of it, he kind of became in Black wellness. Okay, my nominus, I hope I have that right. My nominus And creative mind, if you're still in here, please hold on to that thought, and I'll come back to the black wellness part. Okay, and then I will explain it to you. So if I don't mention it within the next 5 minutes or so, then you let me know. So he started, getting them stronger. So he kind of appointed himself as the, he's the physical trainer, because they weren't physical therapists. I think they were called physical trainers back then. But anyway, so then he started, helping, the people get a little bit stronger. So when he made it back over to Germany, he started working with the military police, right? So he got the police force, they nice and strong. So then the German army looking like, yeah, Joe, let me holler at you for a minute. Let me holler at you for a minute. You think you come train these soldiers? He was like, no, I'm good. I ain't into that. This is my job. I'm going to go ahead and train them. Because the police are there to protect people, right? But then the army is like, yeah, we can get our soldiers strong because we see what you're doing over there with the popo, right? So he was like, I'm good. I ain't interested in that. So they was like, you sure? He was like, I told you, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm not interested in that. So the pressure was coming for them to try to get him to train soldiers. He was like, I'm not training people to go and hurt people. So that, that was the concept, right? If you train these soldiers, then they're going to go out. He was like, I'm not with that. I'm not with the shenanigans, malarkey, and foolishness. So he was like, okay, I'll do you one better. I'm out. So he decided he's going to leave Germany. And this is when he's coming over to the United States. On the way over, on the boat, on the way over there, he met his wife. Her name is Clara. She was a nurse, and they made it to New York. So he came over to the United States. They made it to New York. He opened up a studio. The studio was in New York, which is where the history in New York is so prevalent in Pilates. It was in close proximity to a dance studio. Now, was it one dancer who came to see him, or more than one dancer, or a group? That's not necessarily, so clear, but we know the dancers started coming to him. So with injuries, and the dancers that came to him with injuries went back to the studio, to the dance company, and they were so much stronger. Like, they were so much more balanced. They were so much more focused, like they understood their bodies a whole lot better because they were coming to Joseph Pilates, and he helped them to reconnect. That's where the whole mind, body, spirit connection come from. So he helped them to reconnect with their bodies. So the other dancers was like, hold up. So if you did that and you were injured and you came back, how about I go over there when I'm not injured so that I can be stronger and to not get injured? And so he started teaching them that as well. So it became a preventative as well as a rehabilitative measure for that. So that's history in New York with Pilates. So where Black history comes in, there's a dancer. Her name was Kathleen Stanford Grant, or Kathy Grant, Kathy with a K. She was a dancer in Harlem, early 1900s. So we're talking about the 1920s, teens and 20s. And if you know anything about Harlem, then, Cotton Club days and all that, how difficult it was for Black dancers in that era. So she ended up, leaving the country. So like, Josephine Baker, and she, traveled and she toured, came back. She ended up with an injury. Okay, creative mind. I don't know if you over here or not, but the people's is getting out of hand over here. Okay, hang on a minute, talkers. Okay, creative mind. I don't know if you're able to do this. Okay. So anyway, so her name was Kathleen Stanford Grant, or Kathy Grant. Yep, the early 1900s. It goes back that far. Yes. And so she came to him with a knee injury. He helped to put her back together, helped to rehabilitate her to, to get her knee back working. And when she saw how well it worked, she was like, I want to know more about this. So then there's another part to the story. So her partner, another person that was, in her community as well, her homegirl was a Latina. Her name is Lolita San Miguel. Lolita is still alive. Kathy has passed away. Lolita is still alive. And so I don't think she's teaching anymore, but I know she's doing like some tours. She was doing different tours and just sharing. Hey, Nick, so fancy. She, is doing tours and just talking about her experience. And so Pilates has a deep history in the Black community and in the brown community and in New York. So those two. And so they, okay, I'm taking care of the tubers. So the two of them was like, we want to help other people with this because this helped us. So how can we do this? So they like, okay, Joe, let me holler at you. Now, remember last time people tried to holler at him, it was the German army, and he was like, I'm out of here. But they ain't come on that. They wasn't on that. They wasn't on no trash. They was serious. They was like, can you officially like teach us this, like what do we need to do? So they had to petition like the New York Board of Education or whatever it was, but they were the only two. So we got to get the history right. So in case people don't know, they were the only two. Joseph Pilates himself, let me go back for the people who just joined, this is who created Pilates. This is who created Pilates. He certified two people. One was a black woman, Kathleen Stanford Grant. The other was a brown woman, Lolita Samuel. Two. They got their paperwork and all that, right? So then they, went into their respective communities and started teaching Pilates. So that's where that history is deep. So as in the States, I mean, I know we have India over here, but you know how it goes in the States. Stuff starts off in one direction and then it ends up getting diluted or delulu, by the time it reaches the masses. And so that's why a lot of people don't know. Yes, that's breathe light with me. Oh, wow is yes. And so a lot of people don't know. I'm from the States. A lot of people don't know. They don't know our history in it. And she touched the dance community. So just think about this. If she was a dancer in the 1920s, who do you think she was teaching? Just saying. She was also a very integral part of the beginning of the Dance Theater of Harlem. So have you ever heard of the Dance Theater of Harlem? Yeah, she was a part of that as well, integral part of the beginning of the Dance Theater of Harlem. And so that's our history. So we have a deep history. It's just that we don't know our history in it, but that is not uncommon in the United States. I'm just saying, in America, that's not uncommon. And so for us, and so where we are now in this space, so there are a lot more, Black instructors that are coming to the forefront of the space. And so back over here, was it Mark? I think it was Mark, my anonymous, the Black wellness part that I talked about. We're shifting the narrative of what Black wellness looks like, because if you Google now, it may be a little different now. But when I was looking, even for images, when I first started in Pilates, and I'm looking for images of Black women doing Pilates, it was like, we didn't see that. So the narrative that we have in the States, I'm not speaking of any other country for right now, is not, when you put in wellness, we don't pop up. Like, we're not the faces that you see. We're not the bodies that you see. And so that's our mission. That's my mission, to make sure that's where this came from. Melanin matters, because our melanin matters when it comes to us being in these wellness spaces, and especially in the Pilates industry. And so what I have discovered throughout my time, imagine if someone said white wellness, say it. You can say it, chicken on biscuits. Say it. You say it. I don't have to imagine. You can say it. Go right ahead. Say it. And so with what we're doing with the Melanin Matters is to make sure that we shift that narrative, that when you look us up, you actually see us in those wellness spaces. And that's where we're coming from with that, because through my experiences with the people who have come, to my classes throughout the years, I think it's going on 10. Coach Caprice, if you still on here, I think it's 10. It may be like 10 years. Those are the stories that I got, of people's experiences when they were in these different spaces where they didn't feel welcome, or they were actually, you're welcome, niche mini pantry for the people. You're so welcome. Where they felt othered in those spaces. They felt othered. And so it's my job, to make sure that I hold those spaces. I hold them as sacred, but the person who's coming into my space determines whether if it's safe for them. So I kind of, make sure that I'm just holding the space, and then they get a chance to create it and make it safe. So you heard too many times to your face that people are surprised when you're running or exercising or working out. Yeah. And so with Pilates, that's just, I think it's just more amplified, and, there are certain spaces or certain, and then, you go with the, the ticket prices, on Pilates. Okay. Thank you, Creative Mind. Somebody on the tube talking about, what if they say white wellness? I don't care. They don't know by now. We don't care. Like, we don't care what you say. We don't care what you do. We don't care. We're taking care of each other, right? What my 92% is, y'all on here, let me know. We're taking care of each other. But yeah, so that narrative is what I mean. Like, the narrative of what you don't see. You laughing at me, JM, for real. Like, we don't. How do we do this? We don't care. We don't care. You can say whatever you want to say. You just don't be getting out of hand. Now, we're going to be respectful, in the space. I mean, I'm fine with that. But that's It was a label. Okay. Okay. Creative mind. I'm gonna let you handle that. But yeah, so that's where I am. Yep, we live, yep, and love. Yep, that's what we do. That's what we do. And that's where we are in this space. So when people come into my classes, and I've had experiences where I've been in those spaces, those where I could have been othered, but I developed a bit of a thicker skin because I'm also in the outdoor industry. And if you don't know anything about the outdoor industry, Beeb, if you still on here, okay, here you go. So this is one of my hiking buddies right here. So we're in the outdoor space and we get the stares. We get the stares and we end up in some places, they're looking at us like, what are you doing here? So without being sarcastic, right? We on the top of a mountain just like you. So we hiking. That's what we doing here. Tell them, people, let them know. We get stares when we go out in those spaces. So I come from that industry as well. And they're not used to seeing black and brown people out, especially in some of the remote places that we go to, they're not used to seeing us. And so we on the same thing, we put more brown faces in green spaces. That's our mission. So I've also belonged to another group, which is Girl Trek, which is the large. Let me pin you on this. Wait. Where you go? Y'all see what she said? Yeah. Because I think you were in that group when when we was trying to go along the curb on Mills Lake, and the guy was like, "What are you guys doing here?" It was like 25 of us. First of all, we tried not to DIE on this mountain, but why are you asking? Right, you remember? Why are you asking us why are we here? We 11,000 feet in the air with you. So why are you here? You're hiking, we're hiking. So anyway, so I've been able to develop a thicker skin, when it comes to spaces that I'm in. And I see people who see me and I don't see people who don't see me. And I'm like, do I think the vibration plates? Yes, they do. Yeah. The vibration plates. If you wanted to activate your lymphatic system, that's one way to do it. But you can also do it with like just movement. You can do it on a mini tramp. You can do it, running, you can do it at a fast paced walk, but that's one of the things you can do. You can't activate your lymphatic system. So it depends on if you're getting it for limitations or not. But yeah, it will do that. And it'll help you to just get that fluid moving around, especially if you have a job or if you just live a life where, like most of us, we're sedentary for a long, you have one and you love it. Yeah. So if you're sedentary, you do want to get things up and moving and moving around. So yeah. So how I got into Pilates, I've been an athlete since I was like 8, probably before that, but cheerleader, gymnast, swimmer. So I've been, an athlete. So I like movement. And I'm also a certified personal and group fitness trainer. And I was at a conference and I needed some CECs to fill up my hours, and Pilates sounded interesting. So I was like, I didn't go in there studying anything. It's like, okay, let me take this. It was enough hours for me to fill up, and that's how I got into it. So it was just one of those things. And, apparently it was meant for me to be there, because when I got into it, I'm like, yeah, I like this because of the athleticism of Pilates. That's what drew me in. And then once I started learning more and more and more about the discipline, about the modality, about the creator, and then that's when my desire to make sure that I started on the mat. I sure did. I mean, girl, listen, the mat is the mother. The mat is the mother. And I will say something about that as well. So, and then when I told you guys earlier, when I was looking for images, and I was just looking for Coach Caprice. I don't know if you're still on here, but at the time I was teaching at Coach Caprice's gym, and I was just looking for images for a flyer to let people know that we had Pilates classes. And I was looking for Black women doing Pilates or Black people doing Pilates, and I couldn't find them. I mean, the Google's just like, what you talking about? The Google's like, So I was like, okay. Then I started looking up silhouettes. And so those were the silhouettes that I was seeing. That was like the black that I saw, like the actual dark color black was silhouettes. I couldn't find images. And so I'm like, ooh, something is really missing here. Yeah, let's figure this thing out. And so the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. And then when I saw that we weren't in those spaces, I wanted to make sure that I created those spaces again, because I'm in the outdoor industry as well. And in the outdoor industry, so not only am I a hiker, I'm a certified wilderness first responder. And that's even more rare to see this space out there as 911, as a medic in the backcountry. So yeah. So I come from that space. And so I was in that space as well. going, you're not doing this. Yeah, let me get you on up out of here. Folks coming up in here selling stuff. Yeah, we ain't, yeah, okay. Thank you, talkers. Somebody up in here trying to sell some stuff. We ain't doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But that's how I ended up in the Pilates space, and then how I became more particular about making sure that my community knew about it. Because the more I saw, and then I went into different spaces, and especially as a newer instructor, you want to get information from other sources, because your way is not always the right way. It's not always the correct way, and I just like to have a conglomerate to work from, and then I can develop my own style, from that. And so as I got more and more, into those spaces, and then even as a teacher, I've been in spaces where when the people find out I'm the teacher, they're like, "You the Yes, I am. I am the teacher." And I did very well on my test. Yeah. And I do know what I'm talking about. So I've had that. Or have people who come in and, they want to become the front row diva, thinking they're going to take over the space. And I don't come from that. I ain't cut from that. I'm just saying. I'm who I am. I was who I am before I became a professional. So just know that. So, I just advise people to stay safe. Google 60636 before you jump over here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying you might want to check a couple of references before you come over this way. But then that's how we ended up, in the space. And so now when I meet people, or when I have people to come, they're like, it's like, oh my God, like I got somebody that looks like me. Because that representation does matter. It matters. And I think for no, I'm not an astrologer. I think just for the larger community, like the person over here on the tube saying, what did they say, white wellness spaces? Okay. You can say that if you want to. So for all of y'all asking where she's from, yep, I'm from the States, from America. So, for me, it just became that much more important that I see us, and that I make sure that I'm putting myself in these larger spaces so that people can see me, so they can say, okay, same thing is in the outdoor industry. Because, and I would tell, companies, organizations that we work with, you can go in there and talk to the people all day long if you want to, but good things didn't happen to my people in the woods. Just so you know that. Good things did not happen. So we are not inclined to go out there with y'all. We be watching the movies, and we know before the credits come up, we be gone. I'm just saying, we be watching, we watching the movies. Listen, we know. So we're not trying to go with you. Yeah, we ain't gonna easily follow you out there in the woods. So for people to see my face, and it wasn't coming from a place of arrogance, but I would just let people know, you would be much better off if you let me talk. I ain't saying I'm trying to take over, but I think, because even if they don't know me and then they find out a little bit about me, they're like, okay, she is over here hanging out with them, but she might bring me back up out of there, and then, you have to do a little bit at a time. It's like, we're not going to just jump off the deep end and take you out there, because we just are not into that like that. As a culture is changing, that narrative is even changing, right? We're working on changing that to put more brown faces in green spaces. And so, hey, Shell, how are you? And that's where we are. And so to point out again what this creator was talking about with the Pilates, when I went in the comments, because I just be so interested in the comments just to see what people were saying. And I think this is where, Ty, if you're in here, I do want you to come up. I think this is where my Pilates person was looking, like in the comments, people were really getting discouraged. Like there were some people getting discouraged because they're like, dang, I just found out about Pilates, and now you're saying she didn't say these words. These are my words, but this is a synopsis of what she was saying. Like, you're saying Pilates is trash. Like, you got to do something else. Yes, you do have to have that caloric deficit. Yes, you have to eat cleaner. Yes, you have to move more. Yes, you have to put, some cardio, behind that. All those things are true. So just like you can have 5 different things that are true at the same time, but to go so hard on one thing to turn people away from it, my question was just why? Why go so hard on that? If that's what somebody wants to do, then why not encourage them because they're moving and they found something? And then some people are, limited in their mobility, in their flexibility, and they don't really want to be in a gym. Like they don't want to be in a big space because they don't want to be seen. Some people, we have those experiences in our community that people are laughing and people are looking at you, and your body is made different. You have certain curvature, in your body, and you go into these spaces where the people, look, I'm gonna put it back on him. Put it back on him. Where the people looking like that. So he created it. And this is what I'm going to say too. So this is another question that I have. So if you've been doing Pilates for 20 years, all right, let me pin you up here. Because Pilates been around a long time. People think it was a Lori Harvey thing. Not, but anyway. You see this guy? You see this guy? So if you're looking at his body, I'm just saying, look at his body. What about his body makes you think he created Pilates to get a snatch waist? I'm just saying. We just going to take a guess there. I don't think he created Pilates to get a snatch waist. So you can get a snatch waist. I just don't think. I don't know him, just, study his work, but I don't think that was the premise upon which he created that. Again, he was sickly and he was trying to heal himself. And so that's where that came from. And so for this particular person to trash it, which is what I kind of gathered. And then I was trying to think, like, is she serious? Like, because she didn't smile at all. Like she didn't, because I was like, okay, I kind of thought it was a joke at first. And I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, she's serious. So was she serious? Or was she, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Deion Cole, his style of comedy. Deion Cole is a Chicago comedian, and Deion will say stuff. So you bought a Pilates string with stirrups off the street. Oh, okay, you got the hookup. But Deion Cole, he's a comedic genius, but he doesn't laugh. When he's telling his jokes and you are falling out, like you all on the floor. So that's what I'm saying. Is she serious? She didn't smile at all. She was just talking, just saying. But my concern was, as a fitness professional, like going in the comments and seeing how some people were like, dang, I just got a membership, or man, or this is something I was trying. So it was like they were, the atmosphere in the comments were like, some people were feeling defeated. That, like, now what do I do now? Because all that other stuff is challenging for me. And I thought I found something with Pilates, which they did. They did find something. And a lot of people just don't know the history upon which Pilates was built, because it was built for rehabilitative purposes. That's why Pilates was created. It wasn't for all this other stuff, right? Like this wall Pilates stuff. But I think I don't know if that was a trend. Pilates is not a trend. It's not a trend if you've been around since the 1900s. That's over 100 years. That ain't no trend. That's not a trend. But it has its ebbs and flows. And I think when Lori, some people say things for shock value and others just don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, that's true. Kajish Anand, I'm gonna stop talking right now, because guess what I'm about to do with you? All right. I'm going to stop. Don't say, you come on my live and tell me to stop talking on my live. Yeah. We're in the States. Hey, blue collar scholar, we're in the States. So if you have had any Pilates experiences, just share them. So that's where that conversation was prompted from. And that's why we wanted to discuss it, because I'm thinking maybe, you said you didn't see that one either? Yeah, I got him out of there. I'm thinking maybe her people came to her and said that I do Pilates because of this proximity to whiteness. I don't know. I don't know if her people told her that. But that's why when I thank you for the follow so much. So I don't know. So have you heard of that? What's up, Gloria? Oh my God, that's another one of my girl checks. Habiba Gloria is on the tube. How are you, beautiful? Good stuff. So if you've heard that, because she made that comment kind of matter of factly, like people just trying to be white, that's why you're doing Pilates. I'm like, okay, that's pretty interesting. But maybe that's just been her experience. Like I said, so my experience with people, or with black women in particular, you never heard that before, right? I don't know if that was her experience, but the way she said it. And then you also have the other people who came and supported what she was saying, like, yeah, they want to look like this, the skinny person or whatever. I mean, those are the images. India, hey India, those are the images that you see. So I'm not going to doubt that, and I'm not going to say she's wrong in terms of the images that we see, but I don't know if that's why people were motivated to do it, because they were trying to be white. If that's making sense. Y'all help me out if it's making sense. I don't know, but maybe her people told her that I do Pilates because of the proximity to whiteness and I want to be white. I don't know. My people haven't told me that. So I'm not able to say that, as a professional, but it was I'm going to say a bit disheartening in the comments. That's her business. If that's how you run your business, and then, some people were saying that that's just her style, that abrasiveness is her style. It may be because I don't know her, but I know she's pretty popular on this app. It's not about color. It's about maintaining health. Yeah, your body and your core. For me, it's the healing your lower stomach and core after having 2 C-sections. Yes, that part. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, where that came from. So I just wanted to open it up to my community to see, where we are. I mean, because a lot of you guys, we just started creating this community at the beginning of the year. But my crew that's been rolling with me for these past 10 years, I didn't experience it, If you these okay, wait, let me pin you up here so I can read this so it doesn't go away. Okay, you said you think the pop-up if done in these studios have given people the impression that Pilates is a trend. Yeah. And let me say something about this too, because I saw somebody on here, on the top, not the two, and she was proud, which, I was proud of her too. She was young, a young woman, and decided to leave her corporate job and open up a Pilates studio. She never took a Pilates class. Never taken a Pilates class. She wasn't a teacher. She wasn't teacher in training. Wasn't intending on going. She said she was just going to hire some people. And she opened up the studio. Why? Because it's lucrative right now. So it was a money thing. So was her commitment there for the people to come in and get what they needed? I mean, would she know what to look for? Maybe she, would hire the right board or the right, managers that would be able to help her out. But her goal, her motivation to open that studio was, I see all these people jumping on this Pilates trend. Let me get in on this now. And she had the capital, hey, she had the capital. It was a business move for her. And that's why she wanted to open up the studio. And, sometimes depending on, the knowledge of the people who are in the studios, people can really get injured. And I think a lot of people don't realize you're actually putting your life in the hands of those teachers when you go into those different studios. And so if you have 12, 20, 14 reformers in the room, those are all moving surfaces. And a lot of people are first timers. They get excited. They start picking up straps. They start moving springs. And I don't know if you've seen those videos of people fall, they can chip teeth, busted their eye, got stitches in their head, because they're on a moving surface and don't realize what you need to do to balance yourself from your core to try and stand up on a reformer. And they thinking they can just stand up, not realizing this is a moving surface. And then the carriage is gone, and then they're gone. They're falling off because there's nothing you can grab onto. It's just them straps. There's nothing that you can hold on to save yourself. Okay. Creative Mind. I don't know if you're still over here, but I got them. I got the people over there. So that's another thing when it comes to being in those studios. So what I would say about that is find out who's teaching you. Find out who's teaching you. And if they have issues with, sharing with you, their credentials, their expertise, then it just may not be the best space. I'm just saying, it may not be the best space for you to put your life in somebody's hands. Oh, you here, but it's not showing them. Okay, I can see them over there. Okay, thank you so much. Let me see. Let me go over here. Oh, Habib, I'm sorry. Y'all talking to each other. You need to stop playing and incorporate Pilates. Yes, you do. Habiba, you need to quit playing and incorporate Pilates in your life. Yes, you do. And it's something that I found that, so like some people get, this is back to your question, Habiba, with the mat. So some people say, well, the mat is boring. The mat has 34 exercises, right? Pilates. So I'm not going to get into the whole East Coast, West Coast battle, classical, contemporary battle. I ain't into that. I'm doing, this is my manual right here. So I like to call it authentic. I'm doing authentic Pilates. So you choose. You want to go with the East Coast, West Coast, you want to wear your red or your blue. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So I'm doing what this man created. But also in that process of teaching people the original 34, there's so many stages and so many steps that you can take with each exercise. I've done yoga before. Yeah, I've done yoga before. I've actually taught yoga before. But there's so many things that you can mix up in terms of breaking the exercise down. So you can either progress the exercise or regress the exercise. Okay, they telling me to verify I'm a human. So guys, this is my understanding of doing these lives. When that happens, that means there's not a lot of activity that's going on in the group. So if you can tap on the screen to let them know that we human, that we're in here, because I think they thinking we robots. So if you can just tap on that screen and then make those hearts go up. So that's my understanding. When that comes, they feel dead air and they want to make sure that people are engaging inside the live. So with the hey, Faye Bird, how are you? So with the mat is the foundation. So remember when I just gave you the history with the mat, he taught that first, and the equipment was made to help people connect with the mat. That's where the equipment came from. So the equipment didn't come first. It was like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The mat came first. Well, you see him, he on the hard floor. He ain't even on no mats. He's on the hard floor. So it was the hard floor. So what I like to teach people and train people on is master the mat first. That would just be me. That would just be, what I would say if you were asking. If you weren't, I'm still going to say it. Master the mat first. So whether you decide that you're going to stick with mat. Thank you so much, Glamalicious. Yep, if you keep tapping the screen, that helps me out. Can I pin you? It really does help me out as a creator. And I do appreciate you all engaging in the conversation. So with the mat, once you have a firm foundation on the mat, you can take that knowledge and transfer it to go on some other equipment. And so there's not a mat Pilates per se. There's not a reformer Pilates per se. Pilates is an entire system. The mat is a part of the system. The reformer is a part of the system. The ladder barrel, yep, mind body medicine, exactly, man, yep. The ladder barrel, the Cadillac, the spine corrector, the chair, the magic circle. And Joseph Pilates is also an inventor. So he invented so many different pieces of equipment to help people to successfully navigate his system, which is a beautiful thing. So I don't want you guys to get thrown off thinking, oh, it's only reformer, or oh, it's only mat. No, there's a whole lot more that goes along with that system. But if you master the mat, your body is going to be ready. It's going to be ready. And even if you get on another piece of equipment and the dynamics of some of the exercises change, your body is still going to be prepared because you'll know the basics of what it requires for you to successfully navigate a Pilates exercise. If that's making sense. I'm hoping that's making sense. And I'm not going to say I don't think race don't have nothing to do with that. That's just me. That's what I'm looking at. Moving your body is about your health. So you can heal, especially with Pilates. Yep. Pilates is rehabilitative. Yeah, that's where he started off. Hey, Anna, how are you? How are you? My favorite advisor. So that's how Pilates started. But a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that history. So they think it's like, oh, I'm going to be a Pilates princess. Thank you so much for the GIFT, Anna. So they think I'm going to be a Pilates princess. But if you get up there on that reformer and you don't know what you're doing, princess crown will be cracked. I'm just saying, you don't want to get up there on that reformer being a princess and you slip off. You need to know what you're doing. You need to be able to get your body balanced. It's the whole mind, body, spirit connection is what you want to master. And he tells you this in this book. He's telling you all of this. But you know what I found out? People don't really want to know what they should know. They just want to know what they know. That's making sense. If you're saying something, and this is the truth right here. I ain't making up nothing. My stuff is coming from him, from the man who created it. So I know I'm doing Pilates. I can't tell you what the other people doing. That ain't my business. So if they decide to do something else, that's on them. But I've been down a couple of rabbit holes and I'm looking like one day she gonna do some Pilates. We listen and we don't judge. But yeah. So you just want to make sure. So again, if you are going into different spaces and you're not sure, ask the people about their credentials. If they have issues with that, then you should probably have some different questions. I'm not going to say not go because that's your business, that's your money, but you are literally putting your life in the hands of the instructors when you walk into those spaces. Oh, this is the other thing I was going to say. Pilates focuses a lot on your spine. So let's just think about this. Pilates focuses a lot on your spine. That means you are risking spinal injuries going into these places, not knowing what you're doing, or you have someone, and I'm not throwing shade at nobody. I told you how I end up in Pilates. I'm coming from a personal trainer, group fitness, field industry, and I got into it at a conference before I started studying and went ahead and got my Pilates, like the bigger certification. I got some credits and was like, okay, so I had this certificate. That certificate was good, for 2 years because it wasn't a full program. So I'm not throwing shade at nobody, but sometimes you have people who have gone and some just did stuff straight online. They ain't touched nobody, like a body. They haven't touched anybody. And then you go into the space where they are, so they don't even know what to look for to see, where you may need some support. They don't know what to look for, and you're putting your spine. So look at it that way. You're putting your spine in the hands of someone else. So think about it like that. So when you like, look, if I can end up paralyzed, let me start asking some questions. And you want to just make sure. Some people are just way more comfortable with classical instructors. And this is what I will say about classically trained instructors. They're doing what Joseph Pilates intended. I mean, it may, the deviation in it, hey, Tribal Awkward, the deviation in it is so slight. So with Kathy Grant, with the black woman that he certified, she had something called before the 100, because the 100 is the first exercise in Pilates. So she prepared your body before the 100. That was her thing. She tells you it's her thing, and now we're doing Joseph's thing, right? So now we're going to do Mr. Pilates thing. She was just preparing the bodies that she was working with, but she knew, because she knew the bodies she learned from Mr. Pilates. So she knew exactly, what she was doing. So that's what I'm saying. And if you have people, and I've had this, again, I'm sharing with you what people have shared with me as a teacher when they come and when they see me and we talk after class. I always talk to my people after class because I want to know, where you came from, how you found me, all that kind of stuff. But people have said that they've been, child of people diagnosing people with spinal issues. You ain't got no spinal issues. You got a pound cake, girl. You got a pound cake. And you went in that class full of pancakes. I'm just saying. So since you don't, okay, if you don't know what a pound cake and a pancake is, let me show you. Okay, there goes the pancake right there. Look, see that? Just straight, just flat. That's the pancake. That's a pancake. You see what I'm saying? Travel Awkward, I be claiming cupcakes though. I'm just saying, I ain't pancake. I ain't pound cake neither. Lord, they're blessing me in that area. I'm just saying. But I it's there. That's all. You know it's there. But that's what I'm just saying. So if you end up in those spaces and you said the hip show thing. Okay, yeah. So if you end up, you got the pound cake. Oh, listen, you got that cornbread pound cake. Yeah. So if you get Jay in the kitchen, you definitely got the pound cake. Yeah, but so I've had people who come and tell me that, that they were basically being diagnosed as something wrong, and the instructor is trying to force the pound cake. Hey, Ty, I was just talking about you, so I don't know if you want to come up on the screen. But they're trying to force this pound cake to fit into a pancake position, and it ain't happening, baby. It ain't happening. The Lord said, "Thou shalt have a pound cake." I'm just saying. So if you got the pancake, you can't be hating on the pound cake. I don't be hating now. Like I said, he gave me a couple of cupcakes. I'm gonna take my cupcake. Okay, you going upstairs. Okay. But so yeah, so I've had that, when people have shared that with me, that they, have been in those spaces where they felt so bad and then they didn't want to say anything about hurting. So I've had people come to me and their lower backs are shot. Like, because they've been going to this class with people who don't understand the body that's in front of them. It's anatomy. If you know anything about anatomy, you know everybody is not the same. But since that's what you learn, you just gonna keep going according to this manual. When your manual should be the body that's in front of you. You take that information and download it. That's your reference. That's what goes into your toolbox. That's where you use that. Your training are your tools. But your project that you're working on is the actual body in front of you. And that body got some little extra stuff that you like, what can I do with that space right there? Real simple solution. You know what I did with a group of my ladies? This was a few years ago. So we've been doing this for a while. A hand towel. So I always have a hand towel with you. So if you from the pound cake posse, I'm just saying, raise your hand. It ain't me, I'm a cupcake. But yeah, if you from the pound cake posse, have a hand towel with you. So when you're in those positions, if you got that, so if your pound cake is like, yeah, I'm here, and your back is being strained, you roll that towel. I don't have one in here, but you roll that hand towel up and place it as a lumbar support. That's one of the easiest things you can carry around with you as a hand towel. And so that your spine is now going to touch that towel. So the towel is here. Okay, this is your back. So before, with no towel, we got this space. Okay, I'm gonna use this. So you got this space up in here, but if you put that towel there, your spine now rests on a firm foundation. And I'm hoping that's making sense. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. So yeah, talkers, I mean tubers, y'all gonna have to get y'all together over here. So that's helpful. Keep a towel with you. The day I did that, so now I don't know if you guys know who Low Impact Fitness is. She just opened up a studio, Peachtree Pilates in Atlanta. She had posted something. This was some years ago, and she had posted something. And because what I would do now before that, before getting this from her, you said, "Yep, your back can't touch the floor." Yep, 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 yep. Travel awkward and put you up here. So before she posted it, so I got to give credit where credit is due. I don't be out here stealing people's stuff. That ain't my style, so I'm giving her credit. So when her name is Alexa, but she goes by Low Impact Fit or Peachtree Pilates. So if you're not following her, follow her. But when she showed and she had a lumbar support. So I'm like, you know what? And then she brought out the towel. That's a good substitute. Called up, look, girl, I'm using this because this is gonna be so useful. This was about probably at least five, maybe it was before we went on lockdown. It was before we went on lockdown, so almost 6 years ago. I took it to class that very next day because she used to go live on Saturdays on Instagram, and I was teaching on Sunday mornings. Went to class, brought all of the towels to the people, and it was a game changer. And I had one person who's been rocking with me for a long time. I mean, normally I would just have her, go into a 90-degree angle, with her knees and have her do a tabletop so that her back has support. But she was now able to straighten her legs out. She didn't have to do the regress version of the exercise because her back was now resting on the towel. And she has scoliosis, and it was a game changer for her. And she don't be going nowhere without her towel now. So that something as simple as that. But what I did was I learned that. Oh, okay, Ty, I'm gonna bring you up. So what I learned was that I already knew that working with the body. Okay, I got you. Working with the body that's in front. Oh, I don't want it like this. How do I change this? Ruthlessness. If you ain't here, help. How do how do I get? I don't want all eight. Okay, we're gonna stay like this, Ty. Because I can't see the okay, so Ty dropped down. Ooh, Lord. I know it's some kind of way I'm supposed to have a view up here. Ooh, Lord, ruthlessness, if you still in here. Okay, so you coming back up. Ty, you coming back up. Okay, accept. But there's supposed to be a way that I can change this. Yeah, but anyway, so if you are in the pound cake posse, take a towel with you. Take a towel with you. And if it's not making a whole lot of sense, Ty, I'm trying to see how I get all these boxes off. I guess we finna work with this, but I can't see my comments. So if you have questions about that, then just inbox me. If you want to inbox me, and I can help walk you through that with the towel to help you have some lumbar support. I can't see, but I know there's a way to change these boxes. Ty, you know what we're doing?
I have no idea. Can you hear me?
There's a way that I'm supposed to be able to. Mm.
Hi.
Hey, how are you, beautiful? How are you, pretty girl?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, excellent.
What's
And it's
what's going
crazy
on?
because when it's like this, I can't even like your live.
Uh, so this is somebody else that's telling me to invite somebody else in here. I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, so Ty, I don't know how much you heard when I was talking about, the whole conversation with the TF lady, making a comment about black people want to do Pilates because of the proximity to
To
whiteness.
whiteness.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, so that particular post has over 800 comments on it. People are still going and talking about it. And one of the things, it's interesting because there's one sector of people who are like to be shame bait within our community. And they are very pro Tony Fine is the name of the lady. They're very pro Tony Fine. And then there are other sectors that says, listen, Pilates, we've been doing Pilates since the 80s. So I think that that conversation is needed within our community. They're also saying a lot of strange things. Like they're saying that a black person invented Pilates.
No.
So it's a lot, yeah. And the black woman, which they're talking about, Kathleen,
Right.
co-founded Pilates, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
He trained her. Now she's the only one. Her and Lolita San Miguel were the only two that he certified. That's true. He only certified two people, a black woman and a brown woman, and that was it. So that's true. But no, she didn't co-found it. It was already contrology before he came over to the States. It was contrology when he was still over in Germany and when he got caught up in England. So yeah, no.
Yeah, so there was just a lot of misinformation as it relates to Pilates, and exactly what you're saying in here. We're on a mission to globally impact the Pilates industry while shifting that narrative of what Black wellness means, and that it's okay for us to really, truly be in this specific space, and that not because it's marketed in a certain way.
It is. It is. That is true. Oh no, it's telling me to end. I don't want to end my live. Glamalicious, you're gonna have to handle the comments because I can't see them. Oh no. There's a way that I can change my screen, but I don't know how. Oh, ruthlessness of you in here. Yeah, you're right though. You're right. And those are the images, and that's what I was sharing with the group today. That the images that you see when you look it up, I mean, we still don't pop up right away, but with the help of social media, we are popping up more.
Yeah.
Right. We're coming up more.
And we have to, and the truth is we have to share.
Yeah.
We have to consistently share. We have to feel proud to be in any space because we deserve to be in every space.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't have this limited belief that because we're Black or because we, don't come from a particular social class that we don't deserve certain things. And I think that's what there are people that actually believe that. I believe that I deserve everything on this earth.
Listen, I'm telling you, yes, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I quite it's a lot. It's a lot to manage the comments. It's a lot to. It's disheartening, and it shows that we do have a lot of work to do in this space, in the wellness space in general. We have a lot of work to do.
We definitely have a whole lot of work to do. I want to get us on the split screen time.
I know. Because I don't have so many people in my thing. So many boxes will not pop up.
How did it pop up? So it's telling me to invite somebody. I don't know where the people are popping up from. I don't want to click nothing. Oh my God. Okay, ruthlessness. I don't know if you are still in here. Thank you, Glamalicious. She's handling the chat because I can't see the conversations anymore. Okay, well, I'll say this. Instead of typing in the chat, since I can't figure this out right now, hit that pink and blue icon on the bottom so you can come up in the box and you don't have to turn your camera on because we can't see your comments right now. And I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, we got another person from India. So yeah, so we do want to keep this conversation going for everybody who's still in the room, but I can't see them. I got to work on that. I'm learning. It says
I did my second live with you, and I still don't understand TikTok, but I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm not able to see. That's Sanjiva. I can't see. I'm trying to figure it out. There's somebody on the tube telling me, "Can I see?" I can't see. Is that Undivided?
And Pinterest is here. Hey, Pinterest, that's my girl.
I think that was Undivided who came up. I think it was telling me to invite her in. Undivided. I don't know if that was you. Rhonda is telling me to invite you in. Are you all requesting this, or is the talk telling me to bring y'all in?
That's the thing.
Yeah, you all hit the little pink and blue icon if you want to come up and talk, because this is a very interesting conversation. And like you said, Ty, it did spark the conversation that needed to be had in our community. Like, what's your motivation? Like, because some people may. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if people came and told that lady, I want to do Pilates because I want to be white. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think that when people have general statements like that, this is like looking in the mirror. This is sometimes what they think within themselves, or when they're watching social media. I believe that people think that social media really represent 90 or 100% of society, but that's just not the fact.
Right.
There are people that I've never thought of it as closer proximity to whiteness. I thought about it as more closer proximity to wealth, or having a certain kind of socioeconomic
yes,
something like that. but not so much that they wanted to be quote unquote
I
white,
can
right?
see that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right. Like they want to come off, they want to be on, and especially the younger generation, they want to be on their social media. And I'm at Pilates, so it gives people the sense that, oh, Pilates is for a particular type of girl. So I'm not saying that that's not true, but like I said in my comments, two things can be true at once. That people truly go to Pilates for longevity, for health reasons, to reduce pain, to feel connected to their bodies. And there are people, whether young or old, that goes to Pilates for an aesthetic. But let's not diminish what Pilates can do for our society, because people were saying afterwards that because of what she said, that they don't feel as if they're going to have a closer proximity to go into this particular form, healing form, because of what Tony said. So she kind of shied away a lot of her community, because the truth is we are responsible, and people say, oh, just leave her alone, blah, blah, blah. We are responsible for the community that we built, no matter how big or how small. So when you put something else down, unfortunately, not everyone has a strong mind like me and you. There are real critical followers, and you're impacting those people, and you have to be careful. You have to manage that. And that was my problem with Mrs. Tony Fine.
That's true. Hey, Pinterest, how are ya? How are ya?
I'm good. How are y'all? I was trying to come up here and help you with the to see the comments. I think you gotta press or I don't have you relax.
I gotta press who?
I think you like it's like you see like a little smiley face at the bottom.
A smiley face.
It should say like the by the glue. It's by the blue and red little people.
I see it says Fun Kit and it says host.
Fun kid.
Fun Kit. Let me hit the guest box and see what that does. I have two guests. Yeah, it's not. Yep, it's a fun box next to it. I don't know. Ruthlessness. I don't know if you're still in here, but yeah, I don't.
I see messages, subscribe, comments, but I can still see. Maybe it's.
I think because she's the host, I can see your comments. So if there are any comments?
Is it clear display? Try to like hold down onto the screen, like press and hold it, and maybe that's what that is.
On me?
Yeah.
Nope. It's still telling me to send it to people when I press on me. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm learning. Trust me, I'm gonna be a boss when I get this. I was hitting the more. Let me see if I hit enhance. Boards, background, sound effects, voice effect, music, stickers, effects. No, no, that's not it. Okay, I don't know, child. I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll just consider. We'll continue the conversation. Well, if you all can see, and you just let me know what people are saying, and then I do have a mod in the chat, so if you can see the comments, but because I don't see. I see business, I see subscription, I see enhance.
I can see the comments. So if there's anything that comes in while I'm on stage, I'll definitely let you know.
Okay. And then I just wanted people to just share if they've had any Pilates experiences or what they've heard, or learned about Pilates like on their own. Because some people do exploration on their own. They'll go over to, a streaming service, go over to YouTube and then they learn, that way too. That has its pluses and minuses because I know some people do it for the financial piece of it, but the danger in that is, again, like I said, Pilates focuses a lot on your spine. And if you're not tapped into what your body is doing and you try and do something that you see, but you don't know all of the smaller muscles that that particular instructor is utilizing because they may or may not mention them. It's a little different. It's a little different when you're doing it yourself, if you're practicing yourself, and if you see another body doing it, and then you're like, oh, then it clicks in your head as the instructor, like, I'm gonna need you to tilt here, and if you don't, you end up injured. So that's the downside of that. If you know what you're doing and you've been with, I just say at least one, take at least one class with the certified instructor, just at least one. More would be better, but one, so you can have an idea of how your body works with Pilates. That's what I think.
I completely agree with you. I've seen a lot of people, and I get it because I did a post about why is Pilates so expensive. I spoke about like mat Pilates, etc. I will always recommend people to go in with an instructor, and the reason is exactly what Coach Robin said. They're not telling you all the things they're really doing, and it's
Exactly.
almost impossible for them to, because there's so many things. Sometimes your ribs are flared, you don't know that your ribs are flared. Sometimes you're not, really engaging your C curve, your glutes, because it's an entire body's exercise. And one of my favorite ones to say is that even your lat engagement is missing, right? So it always works if you can actually go into an actual Pilates class and spend some time. And I wouldn't say that those trial classes are the best classes either. I would recommend going to an actual class, and I'm a little bit more generous. I think you need 5 to 10 classes at minimum, to be honest. But
Well, yeah, but I'm saying at least just one, because you would think that you are doing it. I'll give you a good example. When my kids were much younger, I used to do Taibo. I did Taibo before I had kids, and then right after I had them, I thought I was jamming. I took a live class with Billy Blanks, and he was like, "You're doing something," but it was kind of funny though. But then once he really, put my body in a position, oh, I was a beast after that. So that's what I'm saying. So at least one. So you get somebody else to put some eyes on your body, because your proprioception may be off. And especially if you don't know like how your body operates. Because how many times do you say this? And I'm asking you as a teacher in training. Have you been working with anybody in any classes yet as the teacher yet, Ty?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you can hear me. So quick, Pinterest is trying to tell you something of how to potentially see the comments.
Okay, help me, Pinterest.
Glamalicious said to slide your screen to the right to see the comments.
Girl, that's magic. I see it. Okay, thank you. Oh my God, I see it. I see it. I see it.
So for in group classes, no. One-on-one, yes. And I'm also a health coach, so in those aspects, but not in Pilates.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking that is because how many times do you have to say no, your other right? No, the other right. No, the right. Because people are like no, the other right. Like no, I want you to move.
No, but I've had so many funny experiences where you'll tell someone to put up their hand, and they legitimately think they put up their hand, and I'm like looking like, am I on drugs?
Exactly.
You hear it all the time. Your toes, and why are you on your arches? Don't we know it? You know what I mean? Like something. I think what is happening in those instances is that people have not calmed down when they come to class,
Right.
and they're everywhere else.
Yeah. Because you have to focus. You have to focus. You do have to focus. I even have people like now when I like earlier teaching. I mean, now my people are used to being around me, but I would, ask people to turn their phone on silence. Girl, you would have thought I told them to go and smack Jesus. Like just silence your phone. Don't remember when the phones had that little light on it? Like they would have it on silence, but then the light, like no. Like turn the light off, turn the vibration off, and you would think I told them to go commit a crime, like go set it off in the bank somewhere. Like, no, I'm just saying for 50 minutes, can you turn your phone down completely, go black on the phone, but yeah, people are not always focused. They're not always focused in it. Pinterest, I was gonna ask you this. Are you in Pilates? Can she hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I am in Pilates now. I actually have class tomorrow. I go to a boutique Pilates.
Okay.
Studio. So it's not Club Pilates or like a major chain. But I had started going because the one I go to is closer to my job and it's easy for me to get to, because the other ones, unfortunately, Club Pilates does not. It's there, but it's not in areas where it's accessible for a lot of people if you don't drive. So that's another thing. I've been taking it on and off since October, and I was like my birthday, because I was like I had the week off for my birthday. I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see how I like it, and if this is something I really want to do, or is this just something I just see what I like. And when I first started, I was like, because I was telling my friends, because my friend Alicia, I live when she's on here, she started going to Pilates, and I was telling them about, I'm like, I don't like this, I hate this. I feel like I'm doing everything and anything, but it's because I wasn't used to my body, or like moving my body in certain movements, and I just felt like I was losing control. But over time, I started to learn my body and feel like this is how you feel when you move this, and like really create that mind body connection within myself to, okay, you ain't got to go this fast, you ain't got to go all the place, one second at a time. Like little by little, it don't have to be big. You don't have to move too fast. I also had to like teach myself that like I can't worry about everybody else outside of me. Everybody else been here longer than I have, or they've been doing this for a while. Like they been this. They did this. I'm new. I'm brand new. So I need to really focus on my own pace and how I'm moving, because I'm gonna be confused in where I'm going.
That, you know what? That is a really healthy decision to come to, because you have people in those classes who end up joining a class and feel obligated to do what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you're a beginner. You don't know everything, and it really stems down to like you want to look like you've done this before. You could keep up, because a lot of people, maybe they've done like strength training, or they've done like HIIT workouts, like, so they like, oh, I can do this, or it shouldn't be that hard. You don't know you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, so you're trying to keep up with everybody else. But it's like, take your time.
Exactly.
Take, like,
You
take
stay
your
safe
time.
that way. You definitely stay safe. You stay protected that way when you
And
understand.
if you need help, ask for help. That's what the instructor is here for. So I know sometimes, like, because I've heard that sometimes like that instructors won't really focus too much on you, or won't look at you, especially if you may look a certain way or present a certain way, or just like they just not, or it's just like too many people in the class for them to look individually at you. I suggest, to be honest, like maybe go to a class where there's like only 5 people. Because that's what I do, because it's the person they can look at you. They can see you. When it's like 10 or 15 people and everybody, she can't keep up with everybody. I mean, she can see the best that she can, but like it especially like where she's standing, like it's gonna depend on the difference, like how you get more attention is work. Like it's like school. You need one-on-one attention sometimes.
That is true, but that's actually also a hack. So for the people who are in the room, that is a good hack. If you want to go to a Pilates studio, or thank you so much for the heart me, or if it's offered, say for instance, at a community center or a park district, those middle of the day, I don't know what your hours look like, but those middle of the day would be like between 9 and 2. It's considered a group fitness class, but you don't have a lot of people who come in those classes. So you don't have to be in there with 20 people. Thank you so much for helping me to reach my goal. Thank you. So you don't have to be in there with all those people. So that is a hack. You pick one of those classes. And then sometimes, oh, thank you so much. I achieved my goal. Sometimes you're the only one and you get a private session. You get it. That's a hack.
Because I go at like 8:00. That's my first class. Sometimes it'll be maybe 3 of us. It'll be me and two older ladies, and then sometimes it'll be the full class. Sometimes it'll be, because I think people are realizing that we're trying it after January, new year, new me type shit.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. And then like by the end of February, middle of March, then it's like, I don't know. And then as soon as the first 70-degree weather hit, people trying to be in a 2-piece swimsuit in the next day. Like, no, you're not going to be able to do that. Yeah, that is true.
Don't get with everybody. I get it. Okay?
Exactly.
I want to I want to be snatched too. I want to look good. But, you know, things happen. You know, you get lost on the way. And, you know, maybe I might have to push past after. That don't mean I shouldn't enjoy my summer. That don't mean I can't be on the beach.
For sure. Yeah, definitely enjoy yourself. Definitely enjoy yourself. But I encourage people. I mean, that's my platform now, because I shared earlier, I don't know if you were on here, but I'm also, a certified personal trainer, group fitness trainer, and I've done those other modalities, and not that there's anything wrong with them, because they're not. I mean, I still do, some of those things, but I've found my flow. I found my rhythm with the community that I built in Pilates right now. So that's where I am. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be here, for a while, as long as I'm around, because I see the need is so great in our community to have that representation with someone who knows what they're doing. And just like what you were saying, Pinterest, like the energy that you get when you walk into a room is not going to be the same. If you come into a space where you see a face that looks like yours, similar, like, okay, I may not even know this person at all. I may never see this person again, but that allows you to, like, you get a chance to exhale. You're not on pins and needles, right? Because I don't have no problem. You got to put your little edge cap on or whatever. You got to hold your edges, because it'd be serious with them edges, right? If that's what you have to do, you're not being looked at weird.
Something lay down. I think I wore my scarf the other day. When I was Pilates and I was the only black girl in the room. That's okay.
Yeah. But sometimes people get uncomfortable with that, like if people are staring, but if that's how it is, that's how it is. If that's what you need to do, if you don't want the frizz, you just got your hair done, okay, wrap it up, tie it up, whatever it is that you need, to do. Your braids, we have, some people, we're just, we're expressive people, outwardly expressive people. Some people who have the braids that come all the way down to their waist, wrap them up. You can wrap them up, you good. You got the nails, they clicking and clanking, go ahead, click and clank. I mean, that's not an issue, at least in the space that I'm in. But I do know that people have gone in those spaces and they felt stared at, right? Or neglected. Just like you said, just like people are not paying attention. And I did invite a young lady to join us. I hope she's on here, but I saved her video because I am going to comment on it. And she went to, it wasn't Pilates, it was, oh my God, I forgot the name of it. It wasn't Solid Core or Legree. It was another name that she went to. But she was saying how that they didn't really explain stuff to her, and she's getting on this machine. I'm like, they didn't explain. She said they didn't really. She said, well, I was guessing maybe I think she gave them a lot more credit than what she should have. She said, well, she thought maybe there was a lot of people and a lot of stuff going on, but you're paying, your money is the same as everybody else that's in the room. So you shouldn't have been neglected, so yeah, I am going to comment on her video.
Open your mouth and call the flag. Hey, I need help on this. Can you, I'm sorry, because I remember, I think one of my instructors, she had went on vacation, so they gave us a replacement. When I took the class at the same time, I'm like, I don't know who this is, but I'll just wait till you come back.
Say, Harpo, who this woman?
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
And it was some of these. Sometimes it do be they do look at you, but you gotta say fuck them, because you deserve to be here. You
certainly do. Now if they give you a different price and you don't pay what everybody else pay, then yeah, and then we can have another conversation. Hey, Miss BW86, how are you? This is one of my people.
Hello.
How are you? Is she still on? Wait, let me.
It says like a little coffee cup, I think.
Yeah, it says pause. See, you wanted to do solid core, but the way you set up, nope. Come up here, Crystal Clear Productions. Nope, we're gonna talk about it. You love when those group sessions turn into one-on-one sessions. Yeah, that's a hack. That's a hack. When a group session turns into a one-on-one. Yeah, I've had people, when I have taught some of those classes like in the middle of the day. Yep. Okay, somebody on here acting as Sean Combs. Sean is locked up. Yeah.
Sean is locked up.
Sean is locked up. Yeah, that is not Sean. He got his picture on there and everything. That is not him. No, that is not him. But Crystal Clear Productions said she wanted to try solid core. Now, I'm not familiar with solid core experience-wise. I've only heard about it, so I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard that it's like really intense. It's like a kind of like a muscle burnout type of situation that's going on
Mm-hmm.
in solid core. So I don't know. I mean, I can't.
Solid core, from what I saw, at least from what I like when I look up Pilates, solid core usually comes up synonymously. And I remember the girls who was going to solid core. We do Pilates. Solid core is Legree. Solid core is not Pilates. Those are two. They're two different. Uh, what is it? Two different.
There's two different systems, yeah, two different modalities. And this is what I'll say, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So, for those of you all who don't know who Sebastian Legree is, he's still alive, very well. He has so many videos out saying his method, the Legree method, is not Pilates, but people still keep calling it Pilates.
Like, because they all in the reformer, and that is not the same.
But the man who created it is telling you that it's not. So that's what I was talking about earlier when I said that people just want to believe what they want to believe. You don't want to believe the truth. You just want to believe but the man is telling you. So that's, to me, that's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to him. He's still alive. He's saying that my method is not the same, but it's also disrespectful to Joseph Pilates. Like, it's not the same. It's okay if you decide to do something different, as long as you move. That's what we're talking about. If you get in some kind of movement, that's an investment in your self-care. That's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about here. As long as you're moving and you get some form of regular movement in your daily life, and it can be something as simple as just taking a walk. That's okay. But you gonna force something that ain't supposed to be. I don't know. People just be doing a lot. They be doing a lot. Okay, now he over here talking about more money, more problems. You know what?
I don't know where he's.
Look, I'm about to call the superintendent on you. How about that? I'm about to call the superintendent on you. Talking about more money, more problems.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like Legree is different from Pilates. Pilates is different from bar.
Correct.
From jazzercise, like it's they're all different things. So I know the idea is like, oh, this is me doing that is a completely different thing, and they're not in the same way. But I also think another thing too is like when it, at least within the conversation as a whole, like people who do Pilates are like want to be white adjacent.
That's how we started on this. Like I didn't connect with that too well. So
that didn't make no sense to me. But you know what? I'm also a person who can see. At least I like to call it seeing color. I can see myself do a multitude of things and see black people and our people do a multitude of things. Like there is never a no, we can't do that type of thing. Yes, I know we say we don't do certain stuff or whatever, but like we can do anything. We can do anything we want to do.
You're right. We
have the ability to be in certain spaces and be everywhere. So now it's I've been seeing black people go hiking. I'm like I would never see that, but I'm seeing it now. There's groups for that. Black Girls Run.
Girl Trek, baby. I'm the hike coordinator for Girl Trek. Yeah, I'm a hiker too. So you weren't on here earlier when I was sharing with my interest into the Pilates space. My skin was already becoming thick because I come from the outdoor industry, and you don't see a lot of us hiking. So yeah, I'm from that space as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we have to stop denying ourselves some places. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be adjacent to whiteness. I understand the whole, at least for the girls coming up around my age, a lot of it's been like attached to Pilates, soft girl life, black girl luxury, and all those terms and words. It sounds like you just want to be white, and that's not what that is.
Girl, we tired. That's what that is. We're tired.
I just want to work out and I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to have to, and that in terms is so many different things. This conversation has been had over a multitude of platforms about what black people want to do and what they can and cannot do. But we have to start seeing ourselves in places. I know Pilates is like mostly like you mostly see. Usually it is just a skinny white girl on the reformer doing things. Oh yes, Pilates, and girlies get it. But you gotta see yourself too, there, Latonya.
Right. With the grow taller, girl, I tell people, look, I hate to tell you, but if you 5'4" and you come to my class, you're gonna be 5'4" when you leave. You're not gonna grow taller in here. I'm sorry. You're not. I'm so sorry, sis. You're not gonna grow taller. No, you're not gonna grow taller.
You have to see yourself, because even with some of the, I'm seeing with some of the white girls too, a lot of them is like, well, it's only for skinnier bodies. I'm seeing bigger girls over there starting
Yes,
to do Pilates and stuff like Pilates is for everybody.
it is.
Elderly people,
Yep.
black people, all this. Like it's for everybody. It's your body doing the movements. The whole
Right.
Pilates body is
Your body. There you go. That's it. The Pilates body is your body. And I did want to say something because I was going to mention it when you said it earlier about like the way different instructors handle people, in their space. This is me. This is my concept. I do differentiate between an instructor and a teacher. So to me, like the way I see an instructor, the instructor has the manual and they are here with the manual, right? They just say, okay, you do this, you do X, you do Y, and the bodies are all right here. So a body is here, they ain't looking at none of the bodies, they're looking at the manual. That's what I'm saying. I see that as an instructor. A teacher uses the tools that are in the manual to work on the bodies that's in front of them. That's just how I see it. That's my concept of what a teacher is. And a teacher is helping you to learn what your body does, not you have to do what this body does, right? Because there are a lot of ways to get into different Pilates exercises in and out, depending on what's happening with your individual body. So for me, that's how I see it. And I identify, legally, of course, I'm identifying as a teacher, but I identify as a guide. I'm a mindful movement guide. So, and I'll let people know in the beginning of the class, I will suggest some things. I will cue you to do those things. But if your body is dictating that you do otherwise, listen to your body. Listen to your body. I don't know what's going on with you, and I don't want you to be fantastical on my watch if you're really not fantastical. Like we're not trying to go down that avenue, because then you'll end up being injured out of the desire to not be embarrassed for not being able to do something. That's just not how I'm rolling. I'm not, child, that's not your ministry. Don't do it. Don't do it on my watch. I'll tell people we're not going to the hospital. I ain't filing no claim on my insurance. I just keep my insurance current because I want to be legal. I'm not trying to fill no incident reports out. None of that, because I want you to stay safe. And I do know that lowers the anxiety when people come into my classes. It really does. Like if that's not your ministry, that's not your ministry. If that's not where you are today, and it doesn't mean that if you did an exercise yesterday, that your body is in agreement with doing it today. Like your body may be like, that was yesterday. We did that yesterday. We're not doing that today. And that's okay. If your body is not in agreement today, listen to your body. Stay safe. That's where we want to go with that, so that you can come back, so that you can build. And then you can also be more in tune with how your body reacts after certain things. So what if it's you just didn't get, if you normally get 6 hours of sleep and you only got 4, and your body was like, okay, we need them 2 hours back before we do this rollover, right? Like before. And then you'll know, okay, well, if I don't sleep too well, then I know that's not something that I should be, engaging in. So that's the avenue that I come from. I'm making sure that I keep people as safe as possible. You don't have to be coming in being no star of the show. Not at all. You the star when you come in and you do your exercises and you leave out safe. And you leave out in a better condition than when you came in. I don't want you limping out. That's not, we're not trying to do that. Don't do that. We're not trying to do that. So so that whole comment, with that, I was like, wow. So I just wanted to check in with my community, because I'm like, maybe her community or somebody in her community said something about that turned it racial. But that's when she, I don't know if you were here earlier when I was describing the video, her face was very serious in that video. So I was like, is she joking, or is she like really, she didn't smile. She was just, the words were just coming out and she was just saying, I'm like, okay, so I think she might be serious about this, even though some of the stuff, that everything she said was not wrong. I'll say that. So if you all decide that you want to go over and watch the video, everything she said was not wrong. That's not what we're talking about. What sparked the bigger conversation was the comment about Black people want to do Pilates because of the proximity to whiteness. And I think that's where the traction picked up from there. Like, huh? Like, where did that come from? So maybe that's just been her experience in her community. And she want to bring people back to the other side. I don't know. I don't really know what the motivation behind that was, but I did see some people in the comments that it seemed that they became deflated after that. Like they were like, well, what am I gonna do now? Like I just found out about this, and now, if she's saying this and I trust her, then I'm not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it and never even tried it based on what she said. And just as that professional and you built a community, you built trust in that community. So you want your people, just be fair. That's my thing. Just be fair. If that's just not something you do, I mean, if you're not a kickboxing instructor, find a kickboxing instructor, but don't tell your people, well, since I don't teach kickboxing, it's dumb. Like, don't, no, 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 no. Help your people move however they are, because they're going to respect you more, and they'll even help support you more because you were honest enough with them and you were supportive enough with them that if what you have at this particular juncture is not for them, they'll come back to you. That's what I feel. That's, at least that's how I think, as a consumer, as a person that's receiving services. If you're not able to help me, you're going to stay at the top of my mind if something else comes up, because then I'm like, okay, that person helped me. That person really helped me. That's what it's about. If you're a helping professional, I don't know. But it was pretty abrasive, the comments that she was making in the video. But
So I have not seen the video, but I've seen people talking about it. As far as with the whole Black people want to have proximity to whiteness, that's something I never thought about.
right.
And like I want to be closer to white people. I just want to get my body did, and I like it, and it works for me. I think honestly, I be looking, I be trying to convince the girls on my job. Like, I mean, most of them do like, but they're Black girls. I'm like, y'all should do it. Y'all should come join me. I get excited when I see other Black women who come into my class. I'm like, okay, there's starting to become more of us. They're starting to be like, I would like more. If I could go to a Pilates studio, I would. But there isn't one specifically in my area yet.
I love it. Yes. There you go. There you go. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Places like Atlanta, New York, it's easier to find those places. But out here, like I said, I don't. Well, I didn't say this earlier, but I said this yesterday. I'm from Cleveland. I'm from the Midwest. I'm in a city, but I'm not in a major city. It's like a minor city, but like it's not that many options, but it's steadily growing, and the girls are taking interest. Like I talk about it all the time. Even like I'm like, shit, if you don't do it for like, you want to get that quote unquote mommy snatch back, whatever that is, do it. It'll help with those core muscles.
It definitely will.
Or you want to find some exercise to do while you with your baby, do that. Do it as you can do it at home.
Yes.
YouTube is available.
You can. Yeah, you certainly can. Now I see some comments. So Habiba says, thank you for sharing. Pilates is about healing, because she's only heard people mention that it was about toning. But no, it was created for healing, and he was trying to heal himself. And then Crystal Clear Production says she appreciates this, and she would be the first one injured because she's trying to follow everyone else. And that's what happens. That's what happens a lot of time. A lot of people have gotten injured. And I even saw a video, which I did not understand. Okay. Not that I understand the video. What I didn't understand was, why would the studio post the video? The studio posted a video, and I don't know if you all have seen this, where there was a girl who was sitting on the box on top of the reformer, and she was picking up the straps, but standing up at the same time. And when she did, she face planted down into the well. And there was a guy next to her who ran over there to her. I heard the teacher on the other end, but I didn't see the teacher until right before the video cut off. I was like, but the studio posted the video. I'm like, wow, that's such a liability.
It's ridiculous. Like I understand you're trying to create awareness of like, because I've seen people do like, these are Pilates don'ts, and but those are people who their actual instructors are like, I'm showing you what not to do. But take the video of a person falling and hurting themselves. That's embarrassing.
The studio posted it. I was like, that's different.
That's gonna deter people from coming, because if you doing this to try to shame me, like what? Why would I want to come back here?
Right.
Like that makes no sense to me.
Well, something didn't happen, right? So either she didn't listen if the instructor gave safety precautions, or the instructor didn't give the safety precautions at that particular time. Because you can kind of tell, like, she was just fiddling, with stuff. How when people come in there excited about stuff. So either one or the other. That's just my conclusion. Either maybe the instructor didn't get to it, or she just didn't say it at all, and then the the lady didn't realize standing up and pulling the straps at the same time is not a good combination. If you don't have, your core, in order, and you didn't have your balance. And she was just trying to stand straight up, and that carriage just slid right behind her, and she went face down, down into the well. I was like, so I don't know what she injured or what she hurt.
Well, I didn't fall face down, but like I think we were doing like, was it splits or not splits, but like
The standing splits, that's one. Standing split.
we had like the ring in between our ankles and try to like squeeze it together. This is
Oh, the leg circles?
yeah.
Okay.
So and I'm standing up, I'm trying to get on the platform, stand up. Like I've done this before, but like I'm like, well, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't have put my foot here because I put it on the movable part.
Right.
Platform.
Right.
And I done fell and scratched my knee. I'm like,
yeah.
I've been to Pilates like multiple times, but like, anything could happen. Anybody could, sometimes, or maybe like the string, the spring isn't like heavy enough for you to support you.
There
sometimes
you go.
Like you have your string.
Yeah.
Like, also a thing I think people need to realize, because like I know my instructor, if she's like, is it too light for you? Is it too? Maybe you might need to like willingness a little more to hold you together. She'll change it out for you if you need that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can happen to anybody, but to purposely put that up there, I would not do that.
That was such a liability. But I'm like, but now you put it on the internet. So if she decides that she want to sue you, you put your own evidence out against yourself. Like that was like, why would you post that? You as the instructor, you do the do's and don'ts. If you're trying to create a larger awareness, because you're the instructor, right? But you don't do it on a person who's actually in your class like that. And she wasn't faking. She literally fell into that well because she didn't have the support that she needed on that carrot. So yeah, I don't know, child. It was just a bit much. It was a bit much.
And it could also be that she might not have been listening, or she wasn't paying attention. She was just
one or the other. Yep.
I still would not put that up there because like you don't nobody know. Because this is gonna look like this is what y'all do, and y'all just embarrass y'all students. And it's like, no.
You embarrass your students, and then it's not safe. I mean, you're putting. That's what I encourage people. You just think about you're putting your spine in the hands of a stranger. You know what can go wrong if you injure your spine? Like that's. You have to, feel confident, enough. And sometimes it starts with just having a one-on-one, with, a certified trained teacher, or like you said, with the small groups. If you go in, the middle of the day, or you go, 5 or less, that's a really good size to work with. You kind of pushing it at 10, but you're right. In those bigger classes, and I've done those, in like parks and community centers, but there are certain exercises I'm just not going to do. If I got a big group and I'm doing, especially a community event, you're going to get some Pilates. You're going to get more of the breathing and like the spinal flexibility, but you're not getting something where you can really injure yourself. That's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. To see how many people you can get to move in a certain direction. No, I'm keeping people safe. As safe as possible. Call me boring if you want to, but I'm keeping people safe. Sebastian Legree. Yep. Sebastian Legree. Yep. Look him up. He's saying it. He's saying that Legree is not Pilates. And he's explaining it, and then people are still calling it Pilates. But you all have been hanging out with me. We've been on here almost 2 hours. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate the conversation. And I'm glad we had the conversation. I just wanted to check in with my community. That, whole videos just sparked conversations with a lot of other Pilates professionals. And I just wanted to see where we were. I know what I'm doing and the efforts that I'm putting forth. One, to keep us safe, and another to increase, to globally, impact the Pilates industry by shifting that narrative. That's true. I want to shift the narrative of what Black wellness looks like, and then we're not, stuck, in a space or in the narrative that Black people are not healthy, or Black people don't, like you saying, Pimp, like Black people don't care about ourselves and we only do certain things. That's not it. We are diverse, we are versatile, and we do invest in our wellness, but we need to be in those spaces that accommodate us and not just tolerate us because we walked in. If you're not giving it to us for free, I'm just saying, if you charging us what you charging everybody else, you need to be treating us the way you treating everybody else. That's just how that goes. And, if you are somebody who ended up in those spaces, and, if you're listening, on the talk, if you're listening on the tube, and you just don't want to say it, you can always send me a message if that has been your experience. I also belong to a group, Black Girl Pilates, which is also a global community of Pilates professionals, Pilates teachers all over. And so we can, I can check, see if we have someone in your area. And if you want to go there, and if you want to start there to try, if you're in, certain spaces where, it's not accessible, we do have teachers who teach online. I'm actually one of them, who teaches online, but we have a lot that teach online. And even if you wanted to do a consultation so that you can be secure enough in your Pilates foundation that you can go into those other spaces with confidence and not worry about asking certain questions or feeling like you shouldn't be asking these questions because you don't want to look like the odd man out because you're already being stared at. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that for you. So you can always reach out, and ask me. And here is the self-care suite. We are here Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's where we come to kick off the shoes, relax the feet. We're going to talk about the many ways to wellness. We also share useful strategies for self-care to help you to do better. I also teach online. I teach daily. Wednesdays are more like consult days or one-on-one days, but 5 days a week, the weekdays, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, I teach virtually. You can go to my website. It's coachrobinrenee.com. It'll give you a better description of the classes. I also stream on the talk Mondays and Fridays at 6 a.m. for subscribers. So you can hit that. Oh, you can't see my hand, but that little gold star up there, if you want to be a subscriber, you're getting 8 classes for the month for $10. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Where they do that at? So if you want to become a subscriber, you'll get the foundational exercises as well as the foundational principles of Pilates. I also do pop-ups. I do special classes. So if you have a group, I've done it, with book clubs, with social clubs. So if you birthday parties, if that's what you want to do, we did a couple of Galentine events last month. If you want, something special for your group and you just wanted you and your people in there, I also do that as well. I do those virtually as well as in person. And I am Coach Robin Renee. Coach Robin Renee on the top, Coach Robin Renee on the tube, Coach Robin Renee on the base. I'm not on Meta apps right now. I don't know if I'm even going back over there, but yeah, stay connected with me. And especially my talkers, stay connected with me on the tube in case the talk decide that they want to flip the switch again. And my tubers, thank you so much. Thank you for all of the subscriptions on the tube. And if you have not subscribed to me on the tube, then go to the tube to subscribe to me. You can check out our Melanin Matters show. Last year we did Self-Wellness Matters, and we talked about the many paths to self-care. So you can hit either one of those playlists and you can just watch those playlists. You can do it while you're cleaning, while you're driving. It will also help me to reach my goals, especially on the tube. It helps me to reach the watch hours that I need to elevate my platform on the tube. So you can hit the playlist. I put them in playlists. And on the talk, I have playlists if you want to meet the Pilates Posse. Then my riders, you hit that one that says the Pilates Posse, and you'll get a chance to hear from actual people. Listen here, Muffin, Mutsby, whatever your name is, go somewhere with that. So you get a chance to hear the actual people who have been flowing with me, throughout the years, and you hear from them and you hear about their experiences. So on the top, it's the Pilates Posse playlist. And I think we're on like the number 11. So each Friday we have a feature. It's called the Phenomenal Friday feature. And it features another person from the Pilates Posse. I think we may be on like number 9 or 10 or something like that. Maybe 11, but you can meet them, and then they should all be up by September. So if you want to come back every Friday and then check out which Pilates Posse member is being highlighted on that Friday, then you check them out. You check them out on my playlist. And thank you so much, Glamalicious, for your work. Crystal Clear Productions, Rhonda, this is so good. Habiba, thank you all for chitty chatting in the chat. We are at 18K. I do appreciate the taps on the screen. We're at 18K. Ooh, should I touch this? Okay. So I don't know if I should be touching stuff. Okay, wait. because I got to try to figure this out. All right. There we go. We're at 18K on the taps. We're at 18K on the taps. Thank you all so much. And I am going to sign off here. If nobody has anything else, I'm going to sign off. And we're back again next Sunday. So that's my commitment, to make sure that we have a space. So just know that on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do have the space. The self-care suite is where we're going to come and just chill. You can come, share in the comments. Again, like we opened up the screen. I got to figure out how to do that on the tube. I don't know if I could just bring you up one at a time. I know I can do it from the very beginning, but we're just going to share. We're in the space to share. So if you feel like you don't have time, to take care of yourself, or you don't have a lot of time to invest in your self-care, you got this space here. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sundays. And yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here, but I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much, Pimpers, for engaging in the conversation. I think we're gonna put this one to rest. I don't know what we're talking about next week. I'm gonna let the spirit lead me, but yeah, we're gonna put this to rest, because I think we have figured out that's not this community. We're not, jumping into Pilates because we're trying to be white. We're not doing that. Amen.
All right.
We out. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace. Oh, go out and be greater than you were. Some of you all been on here with me for 2 hours. For 2 hours, go out and be greater than you were 2 hours ago. Peace, y'all. And we're here. And tubers, let me get out of here. And we're out.